Hi, it's Susan Proper here with you on Wednesday night, Earth Day, for the gift of stillness. Thanks for being here with me. And sorry that I'm a little bit late. 1 or 2 minutes. Sorry about that. So my focus tonight is Earth Day, actually. Because, everybody's saying Happy Earth Day and celebrate Earth Day and, love the earth and Mother Earth. And yeah, I was too. I did a couple of live videos earlier today talking about going outside and enjoying the fresh air and, hey gal, going and getting your dose of vitamin D and being out in your garden and in the sun and, just enjoying all that nature provides to us, Mother Earth provides to us. And as I was getting ready to do this session tonight, I started to think about Earth Day and the history of Earth Day. Hey, Rochelle. And, I really didn't know a lot about Earth Day and how it came to be and the history of it. So I want to share just a little bit of history. I'm not going to bore you with a lot, but I thought it was actually pretty interesting. That the very first Earth Day was in 1970. So that's a heck of a long time ago. And that it began, or that the whole movement sort of started because of a book that was written back in the 60s called Silent Springs, or Silent Spring. The author was, let's see, I have it written down here, Rachel Carson, and it was a New York Times bestseller that sort of woke up everybody to the fact, hey Nettie, that, that the environment and the pollution and public health were all related and interconnected and interwoven. And for some reason, up until that point, evidently, there was not a whole lot of thought given to that, which is kind of amazing and blew my mind. And so I was continuing to read, and so yeah, this book was written, and then in 1970, these political activists and college students and everybody kind of formed Earth Day. And then, and what happened was that it wasn't really until there was a major oil spill late in the 60s, I think 69, that it catapulted Earth Day. And once Earth Day became a thing, right, in the United States, we had all these laws that suddenly became written because people woke up to the fact that we need to take care of the environment, not just because of the things that we're doing to the trees and the water and this and that, which are all very important, but because of what it means for us as human beings. And so the EPA came into existence, the Clean Water Act, the Endangered Species Act, and a lot of these other things that protect animals, wildlife, and us. Though all those things didn't actually even start until the 70s, and I had no clue about that really. And then it took another 20 years, 1990, before Earth Day actually went global, right? So up until 1990, it was pretty much just something that happened in the United States. Earth Day was a bunch of hippies, and it was a bunch of college people, and maybe some more, liberally and politically active people who were really into it, but it wasn't so global. And in 1990, it went global. And now, decades later, it involves over 1 billion people worldwide that are involved in Earth Day and Earth Day activities to protect the earth, to protect the animals, to protect nature, to protect wildlife, and to bring awareness to all of the things that, I don't know, you and I probably take for granted, or many of us take for granted, because we didn't know when all these things began and how all this originated and how all this started. You know, we say, oh, it's Earth Day, but I don't know. I never knew any of this, really. Never really even thought about it. So 2020 is the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, and that's pretty auspicious and pretty amazing. So it really is a lot to celebrate, because a lot has been accomplished in 50 years, and a lot has happened in 50 years to protect the environment, to protect animals, and to protect people, the health, safety, and welfare of the people. And I guess probably right about now you're wondering what that has to do with yoga, right? Ooh, what does all that have to do with yoga? Well, to me, that has to do with this: the yamas and the niyamas, the way you live your life. All right? So the yamas and the niyamas are the thou shalt and the thou shalt nots, basically, of yoga. These are ethical practices. These are the 8, based on the 8 limbs of yoga by Patanjali. I always have the hardest time saying his names. I always want to say, oh, you were 14 and you remember it. Wow, that's awesome. I don't remember it at all. I don't know. Maybe I was too busy watching TV or playing with my friends. I don't remember it. I just don't remember it. But that's very cool. And I'm glad you remembered. That's exciting. So anyway, the yamas and the niyamas are the way that some yogis choose to not necessarily live their lives, but it's something that they read about as a good guide for life, okay? I'm not saying it's like the 10 Commandments or anything like that, because yoga is not a religion. However, there are things written in the yamas and the niyamas that are very practical and ethical guides for not just yogis, but for anybody who wants to live better. That's all I can say. So I have them written down over here because I don't want to keep looking in the book and read it that way. So the first is ahimsa, and that is non-harming, no harming, do no harm, right? So when you think of that, being a yogi, what you do, how you live your life, should not harm the earth, should not harm the animals, should not harm another. So I'm trying to pull Earth Day into the yamas and the niyamas. Satya is the next. Truthfulness. So think about your behaviors and your intentions of your actions. Are you doing something, is your behavior or your action with the best of intentions for the earth, for the animals, for nature? Asteya, non-stealing. So that could be looked at as consume only what you need. Don't take more than you need. Don't be greedy. Brahmacharya. Sorry, Sanskrit. Moderation. So moderation, I mean, to me right there, that's sustainability, okay? Be green, be sustainable, live sustainably. Parigraha, non-stealing. So non-stealing, well, that could be donate. Donate your things when you're done. Recycle, reuse. Don't take more and still have things hanging in your closet. Don't have things in your garage that you're not using. And buy something else. So you have a perfectly good, I don't know, weed whacker, but you see another one that's got some fancy thing on it and you're like, ooh, I want that too. But you have a perfectly good weed whacker. And then I know this is a crappy example, but you have a good one already. So if you're going to go buy a new one, then donate, recycle, or give the other one to somebody who could use a weed whacker, a parigraha. Okay, so then we get into saucha, which is cleanliness. So I must confess, this one is a biggie for me. Be free of clutter. Clutter in your home, clutter in your workspace, clutter wherever you may be, because clutter sort of means excess, doesn't it? You have too much stuff, too much stuff. Santosha, contentment. That's being grateful. Be grateful for what you have. And that sort of kind of also gets into not over consuming. Be grateful and content with what you have. The tapas. Okay, tapas. That has to do with commitment and energy. So relating to Earth Day, put your energy towards one thing. So Earth Day, you care about elephants. So put your energy towards helping and protecting elephants. You care about the ocean. Put your energy towards learning and helping to protect the ocean. Don't get all sidetracked by this, and this, and then you can't be productive in any one thing. You get overwhelmed and it's just too much. Focus on one thing, put your energy towards one thing, and then you can be productive. Svadhyaya. So that is studying and educating yourself. So you're interested in elephants and helping the elephants. So then read, learn, find out who the experts are, and either read the books they've written or go to their websites and contact them, email their organizations, and learn. Learn so that what you're trying to accomplish can be more helpful to these organizations and to the elephants or to the oceans or to the bald eagles or to whatever it is that you are feeling motivated and active about. And then is Varya Pranehana, surrender to grace. So to me that means recognizing that we all share this planet together, all life, all creatures, all beings, all plants, all animals. We are all here on the earth together, united, and we all suffer the consequences together, and we all share the goodness together. So that's how I, as a yogi, can celebrate and feel good about Earth Day with the Yamas and the Niyamas. And if you haven't read this book, I highly recommend it. It's a great book. It's one of the books that I studied with Gail in my yoga teacher training. It's an excellent book. I highly recommend it. I think that's all I'm going to talk about regarding Earth Day and the Yamas and the Niyamas. Does anybody have any thoughts on Earth Day that they'd like to share? Anything that you're doing special, or that you did today special for Earth Day? Or anything that you can think about for the Yamas and the Niyamas and how they might relate to Earth Day? Anything? Yeah. All right. Well, as we know, I'm really into crystals. And of course, I'm into essential oils. I have not made a grid for tonight, and you probably are like, oh, she always makes a grid. I will make a grid for tonight, and I will put it in the group. I didn't make a grid for tonight specifically because I wanted to share with you 4 specific crystals that are significant for celebrating the earth. Okay, these are crystals that typically will get used in traditional earth celebration days around the globe and in the US for not only Earth Day but other celebrations and recognitions of Mother Earth. And so I wanted to share these 4 stones with you, or crystals with you, and just also give you an affirmation that you can use if you have any of these crystals yourself. So the first one is tiger's eye. A lot of you are familiar with tiger's eye, probably have a piece of tiger's eye jewelry or something, maybe a necklace or a pendant or something. It's a very familiar stone to many people. I keep a piece in my wallet. Actually, it's supposed to be good luck for money. I don't know. But tiger's eye is one of them. Then labradorite, another very beautiful stone that has a lot of flash and fire to it. Unfortunately, yeah, I'm getting a little bit. You can see it there with the light. Yeah, there you go. Another beauty. Pyrite. Pyrite is what some people call fool's gold. A lot of flash to that one too. Aquamarine. Now this is a rough piece of raw piece of aquamarine. This does not look like the beautiful jewelry that you see in the shops. And one of my favorites that you can always use for any purpose is clear quartz. So this is a 5th actually. I just added myself. Oh, you have a beautiful labradorite? I love labradorite. Oh, it's one of my favorites. I would love to get a big, huge piece. Okay, so clear quartz. Clear quartz is a master crystal. In other words, this crystal will serve any purpose that you put it to work for. It energizes and magnifies the power of all other crystals. This is just a piece of clear quartz, but it's a beauty. Now, if you are working with a crystal or a stone here, and I have an affirmation specifically for Mother Earth in honor of Earth Day. So I'm taking my piece of pyrite and I'm holding it in my palms. I have it on my left palm. It doesn't really matter. You can hold it comfortably in your right palm, left palm underneath. But you want to bend your elbows and have it about chest, heart height, okay? Now, whenever you're putting an affirmation towards a crystal, using your heart, you want to slightly bow your head and close your eyes. If you have a crystal at home, you can do this now. Just try to clear your mind. Now, ideally, you would have smudged this crystal before doing this. So with your eyes closed, you can repeat silently or out loud, Mother Earth, fill me with your peace. Fill me with your empathy and forgiveness, now and forever. And then wrap your fingers around the crystal. Bring the crystal to your heart. And you're done. Hey, Colleen. So I was just explaining, I don't know if you saw, I was explaining the 4 particular crystals that are used around the globe in celebration of the earth. Our focus tonight is Earth Day, of course, but for many traditional ceremonies around the globe to celebrate the earth, people use pyrite, labradorite, tiger's eye, and aquamarine for celebrations to honor Mother Earth. And of course, you can always use clear quartz because that is a master crystal. All right. Anybody have any questions? No? All right, then I guess we're going to get into our yoga. We're all good? Okay. Get your mat, your pillows or blocks or bolsters, whatever you have, and we are going to do a spine practice tonight. It's going to be nice and gentle. We're going to concentrate mostly on the spine, I think, tonight. Should be pretty good for you. Stretch it out. Okay. So for anybody who is new to the gift of stillness, my practice is Yin. And if you are unfamiliar with Yin, Yin Yoga is a practice that focuses on the deeper tissues within the body. So we're working on the fascia, the tendons, the ligaments, and bones. We tend to be on our mats the majority of the time, and we remain in our poses for this class, we remain in our poses for 3 minutes. Traditional Yin, you will stay in a pose anywhere from 3 to 7 or 8 minutes. But for our class tonight, we'll be in our poses 3 minutes per side. Also, when you come into a pose, you want to find that place in the pose where you find your edge. In other words, you don't want to go full blast into a pose so that you are not able to hold it for 3 minutes. So maybe 75%, 80% into a fold or into a sideways bend or something, so that you can maintain that stretch or fold or bend and that pose comfortably, so that you don't have to pull out of it, and that you can remain still for the entire 3 minutes. So that is the function of Yin. You cannot really work those deep tissues unless you stay in them in the pose for that minimum of 3 minutes. All right, so we're going to start with on our backs. And for this one, you don't need a bolster or pillow or anything. So you're going to come down on your back with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And you're going to bring your right ankle on top of your left knee. So we're doing thread the needle. You're going to make sure that left foot stays flat on the floor. So we're working the outer hip here. And then you, okay, everybody good? Now you're going to lift that left foot and pull that left thigh using your two hands. One comes between the legs, one goes on the outer side of the left thigh. Grasp onto the back of the left thigh and pull that left thigh towards your chest. So you should feel the intention of the pose is to feel something here on the outer hip. Now we're going to be here for 3 minutes. Find that Yin Yoga is a much more introspective form of yoga. Many of the poses you know through Ashtanga Yoga, Vinyasa Yoga, your flows. Many of them have different names in Yin Yoga. And of course, you're holding the poses much longer in Yin Yoga. You want to keep a nice steady breath. Just a normal breath. All right, now drop the left foot back down onto the mat. Release the right leg, foot flat on the mat. And just windshield wiper your legs a little bit from side to side. All right, so now we're going to do the other side. We'll bring the left ankle on top of the right knee. So your right foot is flat on the floor at the moment. Readjust yourself as necessary. I can move this ponytail elastic. And then lift that right foot off the floor and thread the left arm between the legs. Right arm on the outside of the right thigh. Grasp onto the back of the right leg and pull towards your chest. And once again, the intention is for you to feel the outer hip here, maybe the outer thigh. Make sure your jaw is relaxed, your brow, your toes. Slowly bring your right foot back to the mat. And now your left foot. And then stretch both legs out long. And then just rest in Shavasana for a moment. When you're practicing Yin, the best way to come in and out of your poses is very slowly. No quick movements. Everything is slow and deliberate. After being in a pose for 3 to 6 minutes or more, your tendons and your ligaments are all tender. And slow, deliberate movement is best. All right, you can bring your feet back to the mat, bending your knees. This is passive rest. We're going to go into supported bridge. So for supported bridge, my favorite way is using a block. You can also use a bolster. If you don't have either of those, you can use, I would recommend 2 pillows, one on top of each other. One pillow, unless you have a really big pillow. One pillow is probably not going to do the trick. So I'm going to turn to my side carefully and come up to sitting. You can do the same. If you have a block, this is the way you'll probably feel the most doing this on your lumbar spine. You can also use a bolster if you have one. If you only have pillows, I would suggest that you use 2 pillows, one on top of each other, because the weight of your body is going to really press them down, compact them. If you have done this with me before, you're familiar with this and how it works. I'll show you with the pillows just in case. But I'm so not used to doing this with my pillows. So you're going to kind of have the pillows come to the sacrum, and then you're going to roll back, making sure that those things are under your sacrum. Knees are bent, feet flat on the floor. So you're getting a bit of a spinal stretch here, your lumbar spine. It's not very intense. You can also straighten your legs. This also gives you a psoas stretch here. Again, not very intense. You can stretch your arms overhead if that's comfortable for you. Or you can just fold your arms, hands on top of each other, and Cradle your head in your hands. See how that affects your lumbar spine, what feels good. I'm going to move off of these pillows. If you're using pillows, stay there, keep using them. And I'm going to use my block. I prefer the block. So I'm going to come into a passive rest position. I'm going to just lift my pelvis and put that block directly underneath my sacrum. Your sacrum is that big flat triangle bone that you have at the base of your spine. So here again, you can straighten your legs if you want that psoas stretch. You can straighten your arms. You can cradle your head in your hands. It's all a matter of what feels right for you to hold the pose. But I'd rather have you be in the pose the way that you're able to hold it for another 2 minutes. So twice I've mentioned these muscles, your psoas muscles, which are right inside your pelvis bones here in the front. Those are your fight or flight muscles. They typically shorten with little or no use. Runners have very short psoas muscles. People that sit a lot, very short psoas muscles. It's good to stretch them out. The main intent for this pose is your lumbar spine. All right, you can bend your knees and bring your feet flat to the floor. If you're on pillows, you can just roll over onto your side and push the pillows out from underneath you, and then just come back down onto your back. If you're on a block or a bolster like me, you'll need to lift your sacrum, so you'll need to push up with your feet, lift your sacrum and pull out the block, or move that bolster and then come back down onto your sacrum. Bring your legs long and then just rest in Shavasana. Let's bring our feet back to the mat by bending the knees. And hug the knees into the chest and just roll a little bit. Massage the sacrum, massage the spine. Nice and gentle. From here, we're going to move into Happy Baby. So you're going to keep the knees bent, bring the feet towards the ceiling. Now, if you can grab onto your ankles, your calves, or the sides of your feet, and pull your knees towards your armpits. So you're pressing your spine into the mat, pressing the sacrum into the mat. Remember to keep your jaw relaxed, keep your toes relaxed, breathing normally. Slide your hands down behind your knees and then drop your feet to the mat. Just stay here in passive rest for a moment. Now stretch your legs long. Good. From here, we're going to move into Bananasana. So you're going to keep your body flat on the mat. But what you're going to do is you're going to shift both feet, keeping the hips sort of where they are. Shift both feet towards the left corner of the bottom of the mat. And then you're going to scoot your hip a little bit towards the right side of the right edge of the mat. And then you're going to bring both arms towards the right corner on the top of the mat. So you're kind of shaped like a banana, okay? So we're trying to get a nice stretch on the right side of the body, the right rib cage and the right waist. Now here, you can play with crossing your feet so that the right leg is on top. You can cross your feet so that the left leg is on top, or you can leave them both flat on the mat. You can also hold on to the wrist with your right hand, or you can do the opposite. Whatever gives you a feeling of the most intense stretch that is comfortable for you, that you can hold for 3 minutes. But this is where you want to feel it. You may even feel it into your armpit. Now while you're here, make sure your toes, your fingers, your jaw, everything is relaxed. Okay, the only place you want to feel any tension is this rib cage here, this side. And again, you may feel it in the armpit, but the rest of your body should feel relaxed. If you have your legs crossed, just uncross them and then bring them back towards the center of the mat and shift your torso towards the center of the mat, and your arms bring down to your side and rest in Shavasana for just a moment. So now we'll shift into Bananasana in the opposite direction. So your feet will shift towards the right corner of the bottom of the mat, your hips towards the left edge of the mat, and your arms towards the left corner of the mat. Excuse me, the right corner of the mat. So you're going to be in the shape of a banana, right? Okay, not an S, a banana. All right. And again, you can play with how you want your ankles. If you want your left ankle on top or the right ankle on top, you can figure out how you want to hold on to your wrists, what feels better for you, what gives you more of a feeling of a stretch here in your rib cage, maybe into your armpit, but you need to be able to maintain that for 3 minutes. Again, relax the jaw, toes, fingers. Breathe normally. Slowly bring your legs back to the center of the mat, your torso, and your arms down by your side, and rest in Shavasana. Bring your right foot flat onto the mat, bending the knee, and then the left. And then just goal post your arms. We're going to do a supine spinal twist here. You have your arms goal posted. And then drop your knees to the right and point your chin to the left. We'll be here for 3 minutes. Bring your knees back to center. Lift your sacrum just a bit. And then drop it back down on the mat. Then drop your knees to the left. And point your chin to the right. And we'll reset here for 3 minutes. Bring your knees back to center. Give a little lift to the sacrum. And then bring the legs long, bring the arms down to the side, and just rest for a moment. We're about to head into Shavasana, and I'd like to give you the option of traditional corpse pose, which is legs long, feet splayed, arms out by the side, palms up, or pentacle pose, which is the feet and legs are wider apart with the feet splayed, and the arms are over the head, palms up. This is pentacle pose. The choice is yours. Whenever you're ready, find your Shavasana. take a deep breath and sigh it out. Now breathe in and silently say, my true nature is. Breathe out and silently say, natural. Breathe in and silently say, my true nature is. Breathe out and silently say, awareness. Breathe in and silently say, my true nature is. Breathe out and silently say, trusting. Breathe in and silently say, my true nature is. Breathe out and silently say, universal. Breathe in and silently say, my true nature is. Breathe out and silently say, real. Breathe in and silently say, my true nature is. Breathe out and silently say, energy. Breathe in and silently say, my true nature is. Breathe out and silently say, eternal energy. Begin to bring movement back into your body. Bring awareness into the movement of your fingers and your toes. Maybe move your head a little from side to side. Notice the sounds around you. And slowly roll over onto one side of your body. And then gently, using your hands and your breath, bring yourself up to a seated position. And with your eyes still softly closed, bring your hands to your heart. We celebrate the earth today and all that it gloriously provides us. We celebrate its bounty, its life, We're thankful for all that Mother Earth provides. And right now, in this time of anxiousness and duress that we are feeling as humanity, Mother Earth is healing and resting. In a way least expected, we have given her that gift. It's an interesting reflection to think how our suffering and our struggle has lifted a load and allowed healing for nature. How selfish we have been. How ignorant we have been. Mother Earth, may we never do that to you again. I thank you, my yogis, for sharing this evening with me and for celebrating Mother Earth. I wish you peace and I wish you joy. Namaste. Hey Lujo, hey Dami and Ramona and Julie and Megan. Thanks everybody for being here. I hope you all have a wonderful night. And I'll see you next time. I forget the date. I think it's the first week in May or May 6th. May 6th. I'll see you on May 6th. Okay. Great to see everybody. Bye. Have a good evening.